Hello again, welcome to Play Rosa Homestead. Well, it's pretty chilly out today. It's almost 60 degrees here in Southwest Virginia in the Appalachian Mountains. And I thought I'd do a video today. I don't think I've ever done this, and it's canning chicken. It is the most easiest thing to can. Okay, so stay tuned and let's see how we can chicken. Hi, this is just a quick insert into my video. If you haven't watched the last video I just did, which is Zero Water, you gotta go watch it. You gotta subscribe to my channel and you gotta leave a comment like the video says. And if you do, you have a chance of winning a free 32 cup Zero Water dispenser and 4 filters. That's over $100 value. Okay, so don't forget, go back, watch Zero Water, and get a chance to win one of those. In fact, I've got 2 going up. One is 32 cup and one is 22 cup. Don't forget. Thanks. Okay, I was very fortunate. I went to my favorite store the other day and I got chicken breast. I got 4 1/4 pounds at $1.99 a pound. Can't go wrong there. So for $8.50, I got a lot of chicken. So the first thing you want to do, which I always do, is I will take the chicken out of the package here and I will wash it. After washing it, I'll bring you back in and show you what I do next. So don't go nowhere. Okay, I've washed it. And these are what's called split chicken breasts, as you can see. So I'm going to split them. I think I need this knife sharpened. But it's okay for now. I'm going to go down all the chicken here, and I'm going to take off fat pieces. Now, in the process, I may have little pieces of chicken right here. And if you can't pull the fat off, if you don't have a big enough piece, that's a good piece right there. Then these pieces, you just got to get rid of. You can't hold on to them. So let me throw that right there. And take off as much of the fat as you can. Usually it comes right off, especially the big pieces come right off. Okay. And that's my first piece. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to finish taking off all the skin and then we'll be back. So does everybody like Spooky Man? Hello and welcome to Play Rosa Homestead. Okay, so I brought 7 jars down here. I think I should get 7 jars, no problem. I have 2 wide mouth. I wish I would have brought more, but that's okay. All my jars have been cleaned and sanitized. So now what you want to do is you want to take your chicken. And you want to cut it up in about 1-inch pieces. And then you want to put them in your jars. So I have a couple pieces that were leftover pieces. So I'll put them in. And I'm thinking about probably 1 1/2 breasts to each of my jars. So I just cut them all in one direction first, and then I'll go back and do the other ones. With chicken, you are going to be doing what's called raw packing, which means you do not cook your chicken first. You would way overcook it, way overcook it. And I need to get sharper knives. Now, if you want, you do not have to do chunks. You can do pieces. You could do, if you have, you can make them like into tenderloins. You could put them into cutlets like that big. Your choice. I'm gonna do a couple of each, so I'm gonna do chunks on this one, and maybe another one I'll do more pieces so that you can use them in different ways. And it's so easy. Once you do this, all you do is pop it open. You'll have some juice, broth inside. So it's ready. All you have to do is heat it up. And see my pieces? Ooh. Oh, that's just chicken. This you can make a chicken pot pie with. You could do so much. Just put it in some cream of chicken soup. Put it in regular chicken soup. There's endless possibilities for chicken, canned chicken. Now when you get to some, because mine were chicken breast, if you get like a real big piece, just cut it down the middle in half. Now it looks like I'm gonna get a breast for each one. Yeah, when I get to my middle, it gets very thick. I'd rather put more, have like more than I would need for a meal in a jar because I can always have it for leftovers. I know some people will say, oh, I usually do like 1.5 pounds per jar. No, I usually just do the whole thing. That way I have it. Here's a nice big piece. I'll just cut it down the middle now, make it easier. And like I said, just doing what I'm doing right here, if I wanted to, I could do like a chicken tenderloin. Would I put a whole breast inside of a jar? No, I would not put this whole thing inside of a jar. I'd rather have cut pieces because other than even a chicken cutlet, that is awful thick for a chicken cutlet. Okay, to give you an idea, let me not get the one that I touched. That's how much I get from one chicken cutlet in there. So I'll have 4 jars. Okay, so I'm going to do my next one probably in the strips. Well, if I'm getting 4, I will probably do another chunk and then 2 with strips. Okay, so I'm gonna get going with cutting these. I'll bring you back and I'll show you what's up next. Okay, now I'm cutting in strips. So these are my strips. This is nice for different things also. If you wanted to, when you take them out of the jars, I've done this before. I've turned around and took this strip. I've put some breadcrumbs and different flavoring when I took it out, rolled it, and then I put it in like the, well, I have a toaster oven or a small oven that I have, and I quickly heat them up. And that way you get a little coating on them. You can do the same thing with the chunks also. See, nice and easy. And they don't all have to be the same length, so don't think you have to do that either. If you see any what I call junk, just take it out. Now, if you want that cut in half, you can cut it in half and make smaller strips. It really doesn't matter, however you want to do it. Then what I'm going to do next is I have a bunch of chicken broth. So I'm going to get that chicken broth and I'm going to pour it into these jars. One more thing I wanted to tell you, if you got a real thick piece, it's up to you. Take it and act like you're going to cut it and see if that's about the strip thickness you want. I'm going to do that to this one because this one was a real thick one. So they come about that thick. Okay, so finish cutting up your chicken, getting it in the jars, and then it's totally up to you. When I first started doing chicken, I did use just water, but I think it comes out a lot better if you do chicken broth. If you don't have chicken broth at your house, turn around and use like a chicken bouillon, put it in your water, heat it up, and then put it in your jars. Okay, and then we'll talk more about your jars when we're done. Okay, so over here, I have my chicken broth going. No matter what, you want to heat it up. No matter if you have chicken broth that you're making with bouillon cubes or you have your own chicken broth. You want to heat it up. Okay, in my cubes, I'm going to put some, you can put whatever you want. Oh, that was not smart. You want to wash off your board. So those 2 carrots I'll put over there. Okay, you can put whatever you want in with the chicken. You don't have to put anything at all. You could just put chicken. I want to make sure I've got some vegetables, some flavoring. If I can have 1 pot meals, which means I open it up and the only thing I have to add to it, because you don't want to put rice in with this at all. You don't want to put noodles in with this because it's going to ruin your meal. So if I can get a meal that all I do is pop this open and on the side make up some rice, make up some potatoes, noodles, whatever it may be, I can do that. Then what you want to do is add in any of your seasonings that you want. I have dehydrated garlic and some onions, so I'll put them in there also. And I try to think how much I'm putting in here goes by about how much for a dinner me and my husband would eat. I'll just add a couple more in this one. And I'm thinking that's pretty good right there. Now the other one, if I want, I could throw in some broccoli, which maybe I'll do that. Give that a different type of a, sorry, I have to eat yum. I love cold carrots. So in my freezer, I do have a small thing of broccoli. My husband eats the broccoli. I do not. I never could acquire the texture of broccoli. Now, it doesn't have to be enough just for you know, for him. You could make less. I could make less if I wanted to. And I'm trying to get smaller pieces in because the big's just going to take up the whole entire thing. And press it down. You can press down. So that's probably a good amount. I don't want these really big pieces in because it would take up the whole jar. Because you don't have to do the same vegetables in each one. You can do different ones. What else do I have? Oh. I got some frozen green beans here. So the third one, I'll put some green beans in. This way you're getting a variety. You know, I got a half a bag here. I'm going to put this. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to just put one vegetable like carrots inside. You could add some string beans, some carrots, some corn. Make it like a mixed vegetable. Okay, so all 4 jars are filled. Now, like I said, you got the option is now your spices. You could put garlic, you could put onion, you could put basil, you could put Italian seasonings, whatever you want. I'm probably gonna put I'll probably put, I call it a baby spoon. I think it's a teaspoon. I have this little baby teaspoon, and I love it because I could get it into these jars with no problem. So me and my husband like Italian seasoning. So I could put 1 into each one. And then my dehydrated garlic, I'll probably put a couple pieces of that in. And I'll probably put in some onion. Getting low on my dehydrated garlic. Oh. Yeah, I'll just put in a couple pieces of garlic in each one. And I'll do the same with onion. And then I'll be back as soon as my broth gets nice and hot. Okay, my broth is nice and hot now. So now you want to put it in your jars. Now I want you to understand, chicken is going to have, you're going to get liquid from your chicken. And you don't want your jars to go fuller than the 1 inch head, or the 1 inch head space, which is that first rim right there. So you want to go below that because knowing that you're going to get more broth from the chicken. So I'm probably going to go to there. And then I use a chopstick to get out, like the bubble, we'll say. That's what it's called. So you want to move everything on the bottom up in the air a little bit to make sure that you have enough broth on the bottom that it's not just meat on the bottom or whatever you put in there first. So can you see where I'm at? So I'm going to leave about that much room, allowing the chicken then to create more juice. So fill your jars up and I'll be right back. Okay, all my jars are filled. I had extra broth, so I had to put it back into a jar. So take your jars, take a nice clean cloth and wipe around the rim, making sure it's nice and dry and that there's no debris on it. I didn't use salt. I don't use salt, so I don't have to worry about salt. If you are putting salt in it, you may want to turn around and put some white vinegar on it. Okay, anymore, we do not have to heat up our rims. So just put a rib on in the middle, screw it down, and you want to do finger tight. So take it just like that. Don't oomph it. I don't know what else to call it. Sorry about that. And then you're going to place this in your canner with enough water to cover the bottom and go up some, because you are going to be canning this for 1 hour and 30 minutes. So there's going to be a lot of steam and water's going to evaporate, and that's one thing you don't want. You don't want your jars to burst in there because you don't have enough water either. So I typically, when I've got the canner there and I've got the bottom piece and I put all these jars in there, I typically try to go halfway up the jar. That's what I do. And it's just because I want to make sure that I have enough water in my canner. And then you let it vent for 10 minutes, which means in the top of your canner, there will be a little vent thing. And you want to make sure that it's steaming for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, put your timer on for 1 hour and 30 minutes. After 1 hour and 30 minutes, after it's venting for 10 minutes, you want to put your jiggler on it. And then once it starts jiggling, okay, you want to turn around and put your timer on for 1 hour and 30 minutes. When 1 hour and 30 minutes is done, turn off your heat and let the pressure go down, which means on my canner, the jiggler, if we touch the jiggler top and nothing comes out of it, it doesn't go pss, pss, you're good. And also there's a little red button on the top. That button should be down. As long as that's done, take them out, put them on a counter you should wait a good 12 hours to let them totally cool down, allowing the seal to seal to the jars really good. After that, I wipe my jars down. I write on them what's inside of it and the year. Like I said, as long as they're totally cooled down, then I will put them where they belong. Okie doke, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll give me a thumbs up that you enjoyed watching the video. Make sure you give me that like. That's really important. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks for watching the Paletti Rosa Homestead, and God bless everybody. Bye-bye.